at the train station. The train station buzzed with life, a constant hum of movement and sound. Anna stood near the platform, her fingers curled around the strap of her bag, watching the endless streams of people weaving through the station like currents in a river. Some walked with purpose, their eyes fixed straight ahead, their steps brisk and certain. Others lingered, checking their watches, shifting their weight from foot to foot, waiting for something or someone. The scent of strong coffee and fresh pastries drifted from a nearby cafe, mixing with the faint, metallic tang of the tracks. Somewhere, an announcer's voice crackled over the loudspeakers, listing train numbers, destinations, and last calls for boarding. Anna barely registered the words. Her focus was elsewhere, darting from face to face, scanning the crowd for a familiar figure. Her heart pounded a little harder in her chest. Was she early? Or was she already too late? She checked the old clock mounted on the wall above the departure board. 5 minutes to go. Her train wasn't leaving just yet, but time felt like it was slipping through her fingers, like sand in an hourglass she couldn't turn over again. A man in a long coat passed by, pulling a battered suitcase behind him, his eyes set on something far ahead. A woman with a small child balanced on her hip fumbled with a ticket, trying to keep the little girl from squirming free. A group of teenagers laughed as they crowded around a vending machine, their energy infectious, their carefree chatter a stark contrast to the weight sitting in Anna's chest. She inhaled slowly, exhaling just as carefully. The train station had always fascinated her. It was a place of transitions, of arrivals and departures, of hellos and goodbyes. Every person here had a story, a reason for traveling. Some were returning home, others leaving for the first time. Some were escaping, some chasing something just out of reach. And now, she was one of them. She adjusted her grip on her bag and moved toward one of the benches, lowering herself onto the cold wooden seat. The station had been here for years, its floors worn smooth by millions of hurried footsteps, its walls lined with old posters advertising faraway places. She wondered how many people had sat in this exact spot, waiting, thinking, hoping. A sharp whistle cut through the air, making her jump slightly. She turned toward the tracks, just in time to see a train pulling in, slowing as it approached the platform. Steam hissed from its undercarriage, and the brakes let out a long, shrill screech. A wave of people surged forward, some preparing to board, others waiting for loved ones to step off. Anna clenched her hands in her lap. She had never been on a train alone before, not like this. The thought sent a ripple of nervous excitement through her. It wasn't just about the train ride. It was about everything that came next. The journey, the unknown, the fact that, for the first time in her life, she was making a decision that belonged solely to her. Another announcement crackled overhead, this time calling out the details of her train. She had only a few minutes left now. Her heart thudded against her ribs as she stood, shifting her weight. She should move toward the platform, get in line with the other passengers. But her feet stayed rooted in place, hesitation pressing against her like an unseen hand. She glanced around once more. Still no sign of him. Maybe he wasn't coming. A lump formed in her throat, unexpected but undeniable. She had told herself she didn't care and that it didn't matter, that she could leave without looking back. But now, standing here, surrounded by strangers, the idea of leaving without a goodbye, without even an acknowledgement, felt heavier than she had anticipated. Her fingers tightened around the strap of her bag. Another rush of passengers moved past her, boarding the train in a steady stream. She was running out of time. And then a voice, familiar, breathless. "Anna!" She turned so quickly that her hair whipped around her face. There he was. He was pushing through the crowd, dodging past travelers with hurried steps, his eyes locked onto hers. His coat was unbuttoned, his scarf slightly askew, as if he had run all the way here. For a split second, neither of them moved. Then he stopped in front of her, catching his breath. "I thought I missed you," he said, his voice low but urgent. She swallowed the emotions rising in her throat. "I thought you weren't coming," he exhaled, shaking his head. "I couldn't let you leave without saying goodbye." The train whistle blew again, sharp and final. The last boarding call. Anna hesitated. A dozen words on the tip of her tongue. None of them enough. She searched his face, wondering if he would say what she was waiting to hear. But he only looked at her, as if memorizing every detail. As if trying to hold on to this moment for as long as he could. "I have to go," she whispered. He nodded, but there was something in his eyes, something unspoken, something unfinished. She took a step back, then another. The weight of her decision pressed down on her, but she didn't let it stop her. And then, just as she turned toward the train, he reached out, catching her hand for the briefest second. "Anna," his voice was barely more than a breath. "Come back." Her heart clenched. She didn't answer. She couldn't, because she didn't know if she would. And then, before she could let herself hesitate any longer, she pulled away, stepped onto the train, and disappeared into the crowd.